This is a remake of a video that I made 3 years ago, milk bread, and this bread is super versatile. It could be made into bread, hot dog buns, cinnamon rolls. Even after 3 years, I'm still using this recipe. I'll include the full recipe down in the description box, or you can check it out in my blog, where it has step-by-step photos of recipes. We are making the starter calling a water Roux, so just combine together water and flour. Keep stirring this until a line appears. It's better if you use a whisk, but I'm using a regular spoon. This is what makes our bread super fluffy. Once that's done, remove it from the heat and place this into a container. Cool this completely. In another bowl, whisk together our eggs, milk, and butter. This doesn't need to be completely blended or anything. We'll be needing this a lot later anyways. Add in the water roux that we made earlier. It's fine if you still see chunks of butter in this. Like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be completely smooth. In another bowl, combine together the flour, the yeast, the sugar, and the salt. And with a clean whisk, stir this together on low speed. Preferably a 1 because if you go anything higher, it's gonna explode. Add in our wet ingredients. Change the attachment from whisk to dough hook. Mix this for 8 to 15 minutes or until it's smooth and elastic. Depending if your dough is still dry, add a little bit of water to make the dough come together, so the dough is no longer touching the sides of the bowl. The dough should be smooth and elastic. To test if it's done, just take a little piece out, and we're doing what's called a window pane test, where you just stretch it out a bit, and if you could see through the dough, that's mean the gluten has developed and it's ready. You have to be a little gentle while stretching this out, but this is how it's supposed to look like. Now just remove the dough from the bowl and the hook, and we want to shape this into a ball. Just very gently shape this. And place this dough into a clean bowl and cover it and let it rise for 1 to 3 hours. I did 6 hours because I fell asleep, but I think it came out a lot better than usual when I waited 6 hours. Now there's a lot of gas inside our dough right now, so we need to push down this dough to release the gas. Just pushing it down, or called punching it down. You don't have to be dramatic or anything, just release the gas. And dust the table with some flour. I kind of dusted a lot. This doesn't really need that much flour. Remove it from the bowl and kind of just gently knead it into the flour. I'm just slowly kneading it enough so it's not sticky and easy to work with. But for bread dough, the less flour you use, the yummier the bread will taste. Adding too much flour sometimes will make it hard to work with even. So just use the littlest amount of flour you can. And since I'm making a loaf of bread and hot dog buns, I'm dividing this dough in half. You can eyeball it, but I prefer using my scale. Shape the 2 halves into balls. And taking one of the balls, divide it into 8 pieces. And this is for our hot dog buns. And just roll the 8 pieces into smooth balls. Now to shape our hot dog buns, take the ball and roll it out, and just leaving a small lump at the center. This looks a little weird, but this is how you do it. I'm just rolling it and moving my hands towards the ends to stretch it out, and try to be gentle with this. With a little wobble here and there to stretch it out. Wrap hot dog in the dough, leaving gaps in between. When the dough rises, the gaps will disappear. And don't forget to pinch together the edges. Place this on a pan lined with parchment paper or silpat mat and let it double in size for 15 minutes. Make an egg wash by mixing together 1 egg with 1 tablespoon of water. This will make our bread goldeny when it bakes. Just very lightly brush the egg wash onto the dough. Don't throw this out because we're gonna use this on our bread loaves later. Bake in the oven preheated 350 degrees and bake until golden. These baked very beautifully and it looks amazing in the oven right now. That glow dough. I made the dough overnight and I rolled these up in the morning and baked it in the morning for breakfast. And with some melted butter and a clean brush, brush it onto our bread while it's still hot. And immediately add sesame seeds after brushing the butter so they'll stick. It's up to you if you want to use the butter or the sesame seeds. I just had those laying around, so of course I'm going to add them. Make more hot dog buns or make a bread loaf, which I'm doing here. Divide the other half of the dough into 4 equal pieces. Using my scale, I'm weighing the weight of the dough and dividing it by 4. Prepare your bread tin by spraying it down with oil and dusting it with flour. I kind of tapped the tins a little bit so I could evenly distribute the flour. Now taking one of the balls of the dough, roll it into an oval shape. Taking each end of the oval, make it hug, folding one side and folding the other side over it. Turn it sideways, sorta, and just roll this flat into like a rectangle. And just lifting it just to make sure it doesn't stick to the table every now and then. Roll the dough up and place this into our bread tin. Seam side should be down when you place it into the pan. Now repeat this method 3 more times. Let the dough double in size for an hour. I got kind of lazy, so it was like for maybe 30 minutes. Brush this with egg wash. Bake this in the preheated oven of 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Once you reach the golden color that you like, cover it with foil and return it back into the oven and continue baking for the remaining time. This will be obviously very hot, so be careful when you're removing the foil. Let this cool and then remove it from the pan, and if it's a struggle to remove it from the pan, don't try to cut it out or anything, or else you'll ruin the bread. The bread should very easily come out of the pan, without damaging the bread. And just showing a slice of the bread. I just store this in a Ziploc bag and it'll stay soft for days. It's like so yummy that you can't go back to regular grocery store bread without thinking about this bread. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and bye!